Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM21 story, The Head Coach with me, Daniel. It's part 73 today and we are back for two massive games as we head towards the Premier League run-in with Tottenham Hotspur, our new club. We face Watford at home first, a game we should be winning and a game that may allow us to catch Wolves in 7th, which is currently the final European place. And then we go away to former club Southampton, the team we left to come here. It's been proven right already because we've now finished up above them with a game in hand. Brendan Rodgers taken over from us. But if they get the victory against us, they could stop us getting into Europe. And they could yet make this season a failure. So if you're looking forward to seeing how we get on, whether we can beat our former club and get in the European hunt, please do put a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe down below for daily FM21 content from two long-term stories. We've got a couple of little special things coming over Easter. A massive thank you for your incredible support. If you've missed any of the action, it's up in the eye above. But today, it's all about Tottenham Hotspur. It's about success. And it's about a big moment with this football club, because if we don't get 7th, we could yet be sacked. The good news for us in terms of other competitions is that Chelsea have won the Carabao Cup, so that's the first one out of the way, which we haven't got to worry about another side stopping us. If we go and have a look at the FA Cup and the semi-final stage, all of the clubs that are left are in the top 6, so that's not going to be a threat to us. It's only really the other European competitions. So if we go and have a look at the Europa League and Europa Conference, let's see if anyone can stop us. So Europa Conference last 8, no English sides left. Europa League last 8, only Liverpool who are in the top 6. And Champions League, City, Arsenal, United, Chelsea, all in the top 6. So things looking very good on that front for Tottenham Hotspur. If we get 7th, we will be in Europe. We've still got Wolves to play. We've still got Everton, City and Arsenal who are all in the top 6 at the minute. So the games against Watford, Southampton, Wolves and Fulham are going to be absolutely crucial and we must win them all. So fingers crossed we can go and do that. Let's have a look while we're here though at what's been happening since you were last with me. We played Sheffield United and won comfortably 4-0 at home. Yildiz and Perea with a brace apiece. A 3-1 win at home to West Brom. Right Southampton joining Perea on the score sheet this time. A hefty 4-0 defeat at United. We chased the game in the second half and we got caught out. We just have to accept it. A disappointing 2-2 draw at Leicester, a last-minute equaliser from world-class striker, a new top scorer in the Premier League, Juan Manuel Gutierrez, got them back on level terms. If it wasn't for that, we'd only be 1 point behind. Smith and Perea getting our goals there. A 2-0 win at home to Chelsea, Dele Alli back in the side and in form, Joel Santos getting a late second to wrap it up. A 3-1 win at Burnley, Perea, Yildiz and Ali with the goals there. And then finally, against Leeds United, Dele Alli and Federico Perea again. Similar scorers, a lot of quality going forward. We just need a good right back and next season, we might be able to progress. Having said that, our form since we've joined Tottenham would put us up there competing for the top 4. So we're I think 5th in the form table since we've joined. Just 1 draw and 2 defeats. So we're very happy with where we are. We've got a lot of the big boys to come. So against these sides today, we've got to win. Even though it is our former club in the second one. We've also, though, off camera, had our youth intake, which, to be brutally honest, was a bit of disappointment. These are the ones that are not being signed up. The best one from the intake itself, though, you could probably squabble over which one it is, but in truth, it's one of these 3. So the maximum is 3-star potential. Randy Chandler is a striker from Barbados. He's okay. Not got the composure, not got the mental attributes. Daniel Smith, a 15-year-old centre-half. Not quick, not a good personality, not very strong. His positional sense isn't great, not my type of defender. And Tom Baldwin, who's got better current ability as a fullback, but hasn't got as big a potential. Again, not the best personality, but a decent balance of attributes, so might well become a pro. But certainly no one that's going to be a first teamer out of that, and not much for us to really pin our hopes on in the future. So for now, it's all about what we can do with the current players at the club. The dynamics are looking decent. Ryan Wright perhaps the one that's a struggle because he wants to be leaving, and he has gone a little bit public with that and caused a few problems in the dressing room. Dominic Solanke moaned he wanted to start more games, but he's been injured the majority of time since the January transfer window. I think he's out for another 4 to 5 weeks now, if I remember rightly. 3 weeks he's got left, so he's not going to play much of a part anyway. And he's not as good as Perea, so he will carry on. In fact, I don't think Solanke scored for Tottenham. He hasn't. He's only made 9 appearances and 2 starts, but hasn't yet scored a goal, which is a bit of a shame. Let's go and get into the first game though. It is a massive one against Watford. Wolves are playing away at West Brom in the Black Country derby as well. And if West Brom can get a result there, they will be our favourite side for the rest of the season. So let's go and get into it, see what side we're going to pick. We're fresh from the international break, so let's see how many of our players are. To be fair, there's not much of a problem there, I would argue. Yildiz can come back in for Jeremy Boga, who played the last game. He'll go back to his favoured winger on support. I know he can play as an inside forward, but he's both-footed, I think. So we prefer to have one winger at least playing wide. He scored a lot of goals there as well. Boga will come back on the bench for Neres. And apart from that, it's the same again. We've just started to introduce the Brazilian player. He's made 1 start and 4 sub-appearances. He's improving. He's got an assist already. So next year, hopefully in Europe, he can have a big impact. We've got to get there first though, and this game is going to be crucial. So what we've gone for is the following. We've got Galini in goal, Sina and Smith the fullbacks, with Longley and Southampton building a nice partnership at centre-half. Longley just settling in after a shaky start. Reina and Wright in the middle. Wright's really not in form, but we've got to get his happiness back, and if we can do that, he'll start to show what a good player he is. Dele Alli's in the number 10 role. He's had a brilliant few games since coming back in. Yildiz and Santos on the wings. Santos back into form after a kick up the backside. And Pereira's up front. Perhaps not in the best form of the season, but he's just doing that sort of picking up a goal a game while not playing very well. So he's scored in 3 of the last 4 games and got a 6.9 or 7.1 in all of them. Certainly not setting the world alight, but that's the best thing about the best strikers in the world. They can go quiet for an hour and then turn up with a match winner. And as long as he keeps doing that, I don't really care how he plays. So let's go and get into it. The first of 2 games today. Definitely one of the most winnable games that are running. And if we can't get 3 points from matches like this, we don't really deserve European football next season. 7th place, I think it'll be the Europa Conference for us. But that's a competition we can win. And Spurs have won nothing in this save. So let's see if we can get into that competition. Let's see if we can get 3 points closer. And fingers crossed, West Brom can do us a favour too. Let's go and get into it and find out what happens. Well, here we go. Unai Emery, the former Arsenal manager, is lining up for Watford here. They've got a few good players. Another former Arsenal one there, Emile Smith-Rowe. Zach Steffen in goal's a good keeper. But let's be honest again, this is a side we should be beating. We're going to pump the fists. In fact, we're going to stretch the arms out. We're going to say, pick up where you left off. A couple of them motivated. We've got to sort Ryan Wright out. He's really causing trouble at the club. But otherwise, we've been very good. So let's go and get the 3 points today and get one step closer to European football. Well, I wouldn't say this is the half an hour we wanted to see. No highlights, and now a corner for Watford, our visitors. It's headed away as far as Pedro Porro, but this has been unconvincing to say the least. But it only takes one counter-attack. Smith-Rowe still got it though, and it looks like, if anything, this is going to be a Watford chance. Out to Wilkin on the right, back to Kraslev, the defender. There's still pressure on them, but they're keeping it well here, Watford. They look a decent side. Maybe they've lacked a cutting edge most of the season, but Wilkin's got in here, and they haven't lacked it there. 1-0 to Watford and a spanner in the works. Not what we wanted at all. Emile Smith-Rowe with the assist, a poor bit of defending from Aaron Smith. And I don't know where this performance has come from. It's been appalling. We're going to berate the lads, really get up them and see if we can get a response. As Dele Alli gets a throw, flicked on from Seema, into a Yildiz. He's hit the post from a yard. He hasn't missed that, surely. That's woeful. 10 minutes to the break. We've not taken our chances. And Watford are leading as Reina's got an in-swinging corner. It's headed away by the front post man, but it's back out to Reina again. Alberto at the back stick clears. The corner delivery was poor. Yeremin's on the counter. And our defence is all at sea. Touré's getting in. Yeremin again. Touré back to Smith-Rowe. And he's hit the post and it's thankfully gone wide. This is going to be the biggest half-time hairdryer I've produced in a long time. Because that is diabolical. Where on earth has it come from this Tottenham team? We're going to throw the water bottle. We're going to say we're far from pleased. Why are they anxious and demotivated? They're supposed to be big-name players, and they've offered nothing. A pathetic display, really. And much work to be done. We've reached the hour mark, and nothing's happening. I've got to do something about this. Ryan Wright has been a constant disappointment, so Monteval's on for him. We're going to replace Yildiz with Boga, because he doesn't look particularly confident either. We haven't really got any attacking options with Solanke injured. Longley's looking anxious as well. He's been a bit of a disappointment since joining, to be completely truthful. I'm going to give LaMonaco a go. I know it's not the best substitution at this time, but I don't think we have an option. Half an hour to go. We've gone attacking, but we need a response quick. And we're back. 25 minutes left as Kirosh has it a centre-half for Watford. This is probably the final nail in the coffin in terms of European qualification. As Galini clears it long downfield, we have to get something. Boga coming forward from the left, finds Perea, flicks onto Dele Alli, hits the crossbar. Oh, we've missed another great chance. We've now had 18 shots and not scored. It really isn't good enough. Southampton heads away a free kick for Watford. Boga's got on the end of it. It's now a 2-on-2. We've got to take advantage of this. Beats the sliding challenge. He can lay it across. Oh, he's gone alone and scored. If he'd have missed that, he would not have been a favourite in our books. But a brilliant substitution. Boga off the bench. And a wonderful individual goal. Brilliant play. Perea went all the way with him. And now we've got 15 minutes to find a winner. 20 shots. The expected goals is above 2. So why on earth haven't we got a second? As Smith Rowe puts a free kick in, we can't concede again. Oh, what's that? It's just over the bar. Le Monaco nearly cost us a goal. And somehow we've managed to get away with it. But with 10 minutes left, we're going to encourage them. We're going to drive them forward. And we're just going to hope something comes. We should have scored 2. We should have scored 3. But we're not going to score a second, are we? I've gone very attacking as we're back for a throw on the right with Sina. Flicks it up to Santos. It's headed away just as it was about to reach Perea. Sina will get there again though. We've got to create one more chance. And more importantly, we've got to take it. Smith switches to Santos, cutting in from the right. To Reina. Oh, he's challenged too easily. He's been poor since he's come back as well. He's got a good match rating, but not really offered anything as Collie runs up the other end. Now, accuse me of whatever, that looked like a pretty simple shot, a tame effort straight at Galini, and he's miraculously and acrobatically tipped it over the bar. Smith Rowe puts the corner in, Southampton heads clear, and Perea gets on it. Can we get that chance? Boga's up with him again. Perea comes past halfway. It's the final chance to get something out of this game, get the victory, and he holds on to it too long. Kirosh wins it back, and that is one of the most frustrating days at the office we're going to have. 24 shots, 10 on target, expected goals 2.25, and we've drawn 1-1 at home to Watford. A really disappointing display. And you know what? They don't deserve much more. You can get motivated after it. It's easy to do that. But the big game players, the big moments, those superstars like Ryan Wright, been a constant disappointment since we've got here in truth. The same for Aaron Smith at left back. Might be a star player, might be an England international. Has looked pretty much championship standard on the pitch. There's a bit of work to be done here. We've wasted a chance to get 3 points in one of the, on paper, easy games before the end of the season. And now we've got to hope West Brom have won, because if not, Wolves could pull away for us and our hardest games are still yet to come. We're back to face former club Southampton then, and this game is massive yet again. Wolves were held by West Brom, so we didn't lose any ground. But obviously, we could have been 1 point behind them. It would have been perfect if we had been able to win last weekend. As it is though, Southampton 2 places and 5 points behind us. We've basically managed to switch with them since joining Tottenham, which shows how much of an impact we've had. Wolves though have got a difficult game against 4th place Liverpool. So I'm hoping that Liverpool can get the win and then we can get a positive result, because this game means an awful lot. If we leave Southampton, who were in the Europa League last 32, who are still going in the FA Cup, who are still competing well in the Premier League, and we don't even get into Europe, this is potentially going to be a failure of a season. So let's go and get into it and look at our 11. The one slight problem is Boga's got a knock, so Neres will have to go on the bench for him. Otherwise, we can't really do much with it at the moment. The same 11 could be good, but I think we're going to bring in Monteval for right, because he's disrupting the squad a bit too much with his attitude. Really, in fact, let's take him out of the squad. Joe Willock will go on the bench. They're good enough players. Ryan Wright has got to sort himself out, because at the moment, he's letting himself down, and he's letting us down as a football club. He's had a poor season throughout, so he can't be the one that's whining about wanting to leave when he's done nothing to contribute for this club. So the rest of the team will stay the same, but Monteval is in for right, and then onto the bench comes Joe Willock and David Neres, because Boga's out injured as well. Apart from that, we've just got to take our chances. If we do that, we'll win this game comfortably. Let's go and see if we can. Well, it's always interesting to see how a team changes when you're not there. So they've changed the keeper back. Walter Luiz has dropped out. They've dropped Baratinha out. They've also dropped Ward-Prowse in at right back. Gilligan's playing in midfield. It's a very strange little lineup, actually. Other than that, there's not too many changes. There's still some quality going forward, the likes of Figueiredo, Major and Thursler. But we've just got to be at our best today. If we are, I'm confident we can win it. But we saw against Watford, if we waste chances, if we're not sharp in front of goal, any side can still get a result against us because we've still got that fragility at the back. So with 2 minutes gone, it's a goal kick for Tottenham. And I'd quite like an early lead because generally we don't throw those away. As Santos flicks on the goal kick, Saravakos recovers it. I'm going to forget which team's mine at some point here as Thursler picks it up on the left. Beats his man, he's surging down the line. It's the one player who's really improved since Rodgers has joined them. He's scored loads of goals, probably a high chunk of them. Jeez, what back pass was that? Galini does well with it in the end and we work it out. It was a bouncing, horrible ball on the line. Through ball to Perea, the striker though. He's in one-on-one. And if only he could have done that once in the last game, we probably would have been in 7th place as it stands now. But we can't complain. We're 1-0 up at former club Southampton. And the fans are going to be very upset with us. But hopefully we can really rub it in now. As Dele Alli gets it on the left to Alyadis. Back into Montalval, who's come into the team and giving it away with a switch of play. Thursler can only head it to Southampton though. Sina works down the right. Long ball over. Perea will chase. Can't get there. Dele Alli's still chasing as well though. It's back to Odysseus. Oh, just gets it to Gilligan. Not the sharpest passing from the Saints. Ward-Prowse works it out to Volkov though. And this is the problem. They've still got attacking quality. We've got to be careful. Ward-Prowse out wide. We know the delivery he's got. Gets past the midfielder. Chance to cross it in here. Cuts it back to Major. Into Figueiredo on the edge. Spare time for Gilligan. Into Thursler. They've got to shoot eventually. And Galini makes a fantastic save. Figueiredo with the effort. It's tipped behind for a corner kick. It's into the box. Back post. Reina heads away. Santos can counter. He's coming over halfway. It's a 2-on-2. Has to take advantage here. Skins the first defender. Perea's in the middle. And Teo brings him down with a brilliant challenge and gets the ball away. End-to-end stuff after 10 minutes as Thursler brings it clear. We've scored with our only shot of the match. But if he just squared it there, Santos, it would have been 2-0. As Dele Alli loses the ball high up the pitch. Clearance finds Southampton. He comes across halfway and gives it to Santos. Off the right-hand side, early delivery. Oh, it's gone straight in. What is Odysseus doing there? Santos puts it in. Odysseus just came to claim it and got nowhere near the ball. And it dribbled into the corner. One of the most bizarre goals we've seen all season. And Odysseus being put back in the team by Brendan Rodgers hasn't really worked out for them there. Montalval, who we've brought into the team, has unfortunately picked up an injury. So Lee Farrell is going to come on, a former Hib star who's now with us at Spurs. And with 20 minutes gone, we lead 2-0 from 2 shots. And the second one was barely a shot, but we'll take it. 10 minutes to the break. We've got a Sergei Volkov throw on the right for the Saints. A lovely one too with Figueiredo from the back heel. Ward-Prowse into Lucero. Shots blocked and cleared by Aaron Smith. Saravakos gets it forward again. We don't see anything else though. Look at the expected goals. 1.2 for the Saints. It's a reverse of the Watford game really. We've not been the better side here by any stretch, but on the counter, we've been absolutely sublime. And as a result at half-time, it's Southampton 0, Tottenham Hotspur 2, and we're getting one over on our former club. We'll keep an eye, of course, on the Wolves result after, as we tell the lads to keep it up. Santos looks shattered. He's got a knock now as well. So we're going to have to make a second change enforced. On the right, it'll be David Neres. Suits the position quite well, but of course not quite as good as Santos. So hopefully they won't be long-lasting injuries. We don't want to weaken the team too much. With an hour gone, we've had a much better start to this half. But ironically, haven't got the goal. Asina gives it away with a throw-in on the right. Teo clears long downfield. Again, Southampton's the first man there. He's been brilliant so far. He comes over halfway. Switches it to the left-hand side to a Yildiz. He's got the overlapping fullback with him. Goes alone to the corner flag. Back to Smith eventually. He finds Farrell. Baratinha off the bench was closing, but it's eventually released to Reina. Switches right to Sina on the right side of the box. Chance to get in the area. Goes for the shot himself. And with 4 in the middle, he probably should have crossed it. But greediness, unfortunately, cost us a chance at a third goal. One more sub to be made then. 20 minutes left on the clock. Of the players left on, Dele Alli's had the worst game. So it's either, I think we'll bring Llorente on. He'll be replaced by Reina in the number 10 position. And then we'll switch Farrell into the Mazzala. Llorente will play as the deep line playmaker. Little bit more defensive solidity. Little bit more defensive minded. And look at that. Wolves must be behind. Because we've just gone up to 7th. And now we've got another injury. This is ridiculous. We can't bring anyone on, of course. We've made all the subs. But Aaron Smith has now got an injury too. So many in one game. It's really frustrating. Things starting to conspire against us. I'm just looking to see if either of the wingers can tackle. They can't really. But I think we're probably going to have to put a Yildiz there. So what we'll do, Reina will go out to the left side of the midfield 4. We'll put a Yildiz at left back just for the last 10. Reina will be a advanced playmaker, I think, or an inverted winger. Let's just leave it for that now. A little shape, we'll keep it tight. We'll switch Farrell to a deep line playmaker, so we've got two defensive-minded players there. And then we'll just try and get through the last few minutes. If we can keep the ball, if we can keep attacking, we shouldn't have too much of a threat. And hopefully, we'll stay 7th as well. Interesting that Southampton have gone back to a more defensive 4-3-3 as Figueiredo comes off and the final whistle goes. The second half, we were absolutely brilliant. No shots on target for Southampton in the second period and a comfortable 2-0 win. But now, we've got to see if Wolves do lose that game and if we can stay 7th. And hopefully the injuries aren't too bad either. Let's go and have a look. Here we go then. Montalval, 1 to 3 days. We can live with that. I think we have got a game in midweek, but after that we should be alright. Aaron Smith is 3 weeks, but we've got a really good replacement in Nuno Mendes. And Santos, 1 to 2 days. So that's not too bad in the grand scheme of things. We thought it might have been worse. Of course, the Everton game's been brought forward because they're in the FA Cup semi-final. But let's go and skip ahead and see what the Wolves result is. Fingers crossed we'll finish the episode in 7th. Liverpool need to do us a favour. We stay 7th after Liverpool win 4-1 at Wolves and Molineux. A brilliant result for us and it gets us into a European place. And nothing can stop us if we finish 7th. We've looked at all the other competitions. So after a disappointing start to the episode, we have recovered and are in the position we want to be. Only 6 points off City and we've still got them to play. So let's not rule that out just yet. But we've got to bear in mind we've got a hard run in. 5 games left. 3 of them against teams in the top 6. A crucial one at home against Wolves, who are currently in 8th right behind us. And in the final game of the season is Arsenal at home, the North London derby. In fact, back-to-back London derbies with Fulham just before as well. So that's what we're going to be back for. The final game of the season against Arsenal, where hopefully we can wrap up 7th place in European football. That's what we came here to achieve. If we can do any better, then fantastic. But for us, that's the bare minimum requirement. We'll also then have a look at our end of season review, see how both clubs have done, see what's going on and off the pitch at Tottenham and Southampton, and look ahead to what's going to be a busy summer for our director of football. Certainly an important window for him and for us in the grand scheme of our career. This is a first chance for us to succeed at a club with the potential to be massive. And if we can do that, you never know what next season could bring. Potentially a trophy, either in a lower European competition or a cup, and maybe even competing for Champions League football. All of those things we'll find out as we go along. But if you did enjoy this episode, the reunion with Southampton, and a good win to end the episode after a frustrating start, please do put a thumbs up on it. Subscribe down below and turn that notification bell on to get alerts as daily content releases from 2 long-term stories. There's links to all the playlists in the eye above, as well as the podcast channel too. And of course, in the description below, you can find the link to the Twitch channel. We'll have our first live stream from there in the next week or so. But a massive thank you for watching, your continued support as always. It's been a brilliant, enjoyable season, but it could yet end in bitter disappointment and potentially, if we fail, a sacking. So will we be able to stay in 7th place? Join me next time to find out.